I'm confronting my wife's affair partner today. I caught them and confronted her about the affair 3 months ago. She apologized profusely and told me she still wanted to be with me, wanted to save our marriage, counseling, etc. We've been in couples and individual counseling. She's outwardly told me all the right things. She loves me and only me, wants to fix things, doesn't want a divorce, etc. She gave me access to her phone but told me she doesn't want to catch me sneakily going through it. She swears up and down that she's on the straight and narrow to repairing our broken trust, except she is still seeing him. I found out and kept it to myself. I plan to serve her divorce papers tomorrow. But first I'm going to confront her AP to see what other lies she's been telling me. I know they've talked on the phone a dozen times since I found out and told her she had to go no contact. She swears she hasn't been in contact with him. But the phone records don't lie. They text almost every day. She's obviously deleting them from her phone because I haven't seen them there. But she doesn't know deleting them on her phone doesn't delete them from her iPad. So at the moment, I'm sitting in a car outside of his house, waiting for him or his wife to leave for work. If he leaves, I'm going to follow him to where he works and confront him there. If she leaves first, I'm going to go knock on his door. Wish me luck. Reddit. Update. I'll start with last night. I got home from work, made dinner and sat down to eat. My wife asked me how my day was. I relied, uneventful. That was the extent of it. We ate, played with the kids and put them to bed like everything was normal. She and I sat down in our bedroom to watch TV, and she said nothing for like 2 hours. Finally, after our shows were over, she spoke. I'm going to bed. And that was it. No confrontation, no discussion, nothing. She went to bed and I stayed up playing video games for another couple of hours before I went to bed myself. I slept like shit and finally woke up at 5 a.m. The reason I wanted to serve her today was that we had a marriage counseling session over the lunch hour. I had already read our therapist in on what I intended to do. So when we sat down and started the session, I didn't wait. I talked to AP yesterday. Yeah, I talked to him too. Yeah, I know. I don't get it. Why would you go talk to him? Because I needed answers to some questions I had and you weren't being honest with me. Oh yeah. Well, what did he tell you? Honey, he sold you down the river. What does that mean? He told me everything about what you guys have been doing. The sneaking around, the secret meetings, the lovey-dovey phone calls, everything. Told you. Yeah, everything. I then went on to list out all of the details I already knew of their texts, calls, meetings, dates, times, etc. She started to bawl. So it's clear to me that while you've been in here telling me one thing, your actions tell a completely different story. So I'm done. What do you mean you're done? Hands her divorce papers. I want a divorce. She took the paperwork in her hands like it was a venomous snake and stared at it. She then looked to the therapist for help. How do I fix this? I don't want a divorce. I want you. I want our life. I want to stay. Therapist, do you see where confronting a P is coming from? When your words and your actions are telling conflicting stories, you always believe the actions, not the words. Your actions have told me all I need to know. How do we move forward from here without fighting, without vitriol, without dragging our children through the mud? The rest of the session was surprisingly cordial. There were a lot of tears on both sides. I expressed how betrayed and angry I am that she would continue this affair behind my back, thinking of me as the lovable idiot who would never know. She cried because her entire life as she knows it is ending. I told her I cut off her money supply, that she can use half of what we have to hire a divorce attorney. I told her she cannot live in our home anymore. She will need to go stay with family or friends. I told her I was done, and that there is no chance for reconciliation. She cried more. When we walked out of the appointment, she grabbed my hand and made another last-ditch effort to garner my forgiveness. I pulled my hand away and told her in no uncertain terms that was done, and I did not want her in my life anymore. She fell to the ground, sobbing. I walked out the door and left her like that. As I drove away from the therapist's office, I called AP's wife and left her a voicemail, saying, I really need to speak with you. Please call me back ASAP. I then called my attorney and told her to file the paperwork, but to hold on the TRO unless things got ugly. My wife called and texted me several times after I left. I let them go to VM and haven't listened to them yet. I felt dead inside as I drove to her parents' house. Before I walked in, my phone rang. It was AP's wife, calling me back. He hadn't said anything to her. I told her I needed to meet with her in person. Could I meet up with her in an hour? She said yes, and we set a place and time. I walked into her parents' house and told them everything. Her mom started to bawl immediately. Her dad sat there, stone-faced. I told them that I love her and I tried to make it work, but that I refused to stand there while she continued to cheat on me behind my back. They were so totally shaken that it was hard to gauge their feelings. I told them that I wouldn't slander her or spread the truth around our friends and family, but that they needed to know the truth about why we are divorcing. I told them that I don't expect them to support me in all of this, and frankly I want them to support her because she's going to need it. This all goes back to my kids. If she cannot afford a decent place to live, I don't want my kids living in squalor during the time they spend with her. Her parents can, and will, support her financially. I told them I loved them, and that I would miss our relationship. Her dad and I shook hands and I hugged her mom before I left. Then I drove to the meeting place to meet AP's wife. I'm sitting in the car now, waiting for her to show up. I plan to tell her, show her the video if need be, and let her make the decision on how to proceed from there. If she needs me to be a source of emotional support, I will offer that. No one should have to suffer through this alone. So that's been my day. I still have to meet with AP's wife, pick up my kids from school, and change the locks on my house. I have a security system set up at home, so if she chooses to steal or damage anything, it will be on video. She knows that, too, so I'm not too worried about it. More to come. How I moved on from my ex. I was asked to post my story by a friend. He said it would give people suffering through infidelity hope. I met my ex, Kara, in early 1994. We clicked fast. We introduced each other to our families and friends within a month. Everyone got along great. At this point, life was perfect. 1 year after we met, I asked Kara to marry me. She accepted and we started planning our wedding. We decided on a date in August 96. I was walking on air. Kara moved in with me in early March 96. She wanted to find a job quickly and contribute to the household. I wanted her to wait until after the wedding. I made more than enough to easily support us both, but she was adamant. This is when things started to fall apart. She went to work for a design firm in late March. Within a month she started working. She became distant, showed little affection, and started talking endlessly about her project manager. I should have seen the red flags, but nope. D-Day was June 12, 1996. I came home from work early, and found Kara and her project manager, Tim, in our bed. They both panicked. Tim grabbed his clothes and left. Kara sat on the bed getting dressed and told me we were through. Her reason: he can help my career. You can't. 2 weeks after, Kara's BFF, Terry, called. She hadn't spoken with Kara in a while and wanted to chat. I told her what happened. She thought I was making a joke and started laughing. When I was silent, Terry realized I was serious. Kara had been kind enough to give me her new address and phone number if I ever wanted to chat or visit. Like that was going to happen. I gave Terry her address and number. Terry came to my house about 2 hours later. She is normally very upbeat and smiling. This time, she looked like she wanted to murder someone. She came in and gave me a hug. She cut loose with massive outburst about Kara and how she was lying B-word and that she was done with her. Kara had told Terry that I was physically and emotionally abusive. What a pile of crap. Terry and I started hanging out together. We never really talked a lot before. Turns out we both absolutely love British history and Italian food. Terry went back to school to finish her thesis in the fall of 96. We called each at least once a week, and we also visited each other a few times. In early November, I called and asked if could visit her on the 9th. She was about to start doing some hard research, and I knew her time was going to be needed for her project. I went to her apartment. When I got there, she asked me if I was calling and visiting her because I wanted to talk to someone, or was it because I liked time with her. This made me chuckle. I told her that my friends live within a mile of me. If I wanted to just talk or hang out, I wouldn't run up my phone bill or drive 2 hours. I liked being with her. She smiled and we went out for dinner and a movie. When we went back to her place, she turned and kissed me. I was stunned but quickly recovered and kissed her back. Our first date, first kiss, and the first time we slept in the same bed. The other first happened the next day when I left to get breakfast for us and came back to her apartment with an engagement ring. We were married on May 9, 1998. A few months after we were married, my sister called. Kara wanted to talk to me. She gave my sister her number. Terry said I should call, so I did. She apologized and wanted to know if we could try again. I thanked her, said I had moved on. At this point, Terry got on the call. Kara ended the call quickly after that. Kara called my sister and said that we had betrayed her. WTF.